Hey everyone, this is Sensei Gerry Valido with Valido Martial Arts. It's been a while since I've actually made a video wearing my gi and my belt. A few reasons for that. In October of this year, I made the long and difficult decision to leave formal training in the American Kenpo system. I've been training in the Kenpo arts consistently since 1994, and there are a plethora of wonderful, amazing things that I've learned in that span of time. However, it happens that, like with a lot of different martial artists, my calling is elsewhere, and I am being drawn now to train a little bit more, a lot more actually, in my Filipino martial arts with my personal instructor. And I am focused on developing my system of Cinco Estilos Urban Arnis. Hence, I am no longer teaching American Kenpo in a commercial school. I am no longer formally training in American Kenpo. The only exposure I have to Kenpo right now is actually teaching my private students. I have 4 kids that I teach and 1 adult that I teach. It's an extremely small group, but that's okay. And I'm very fortunate that I have these people in my life because they allow me to be that outside of the box thinker when it comes to Kenpo. I love the art. However, I have certain misgivings about the Kenpo system, the way it's taught, and certain things that we learn in the system. And you know what? You don't have to agree with me. That's fine. I'm not looking for people to agree with me. I am just looking down my own path of exploration, and it's my path to walk and my path to follow. It's something that I think every martial artist should actually take a step back and think about at some point in their lives. In saying this, I now only wear my patch, which is the patch for my school, which is this patch right here. And there are only 5 people in the world that actually don this patch right now, which are my 5 students. And now I know it says right here, American Kenpo on the side, okay? The purpose of me saying American Kenpo is that I am still teaching the American Kenpo curriculum. However, it is my methodology of teaching the American Kenpo curriculum. And I am incorporating the things that I know from my personal experience in my 25 years as a martial artist. So it is still a Kenpo-based curriculum, an American Kenpo-based type of curriculum. However, I'm incorporating different body mechanics, different methods of teaching. For instance, I'll give you one example here of something that I do with my students. Traditionally, in a school, and this is something very simple, but just something I've incorporated. Traditionally in a school, when you train, you have your hands back to the ribs. Okay? This is to teach the student, normally the beginning student, and I will still do this for white belts because it helps the student to understand that when you're doing something with one hand, the other hand is doing something as well. So as I'm chambering my block, the other hand is working on coming out. As I am chambering my punch, the other hand is coming out. So there's something that the other hand is always doing. Okay. However, once they get that and they're past white belt, we no longer have our hands chambered at the ribs. We now have them chambered in a guard. Okay. So if I'm doing blocks with a student, they're going to come right here and block and block and block and block and block. That way they learn to keep their dukes up. They keep their hands up. One hand is blocking, one hand is covering, checking, guarding, whatever. Okay? From here, they're punching, one hand is covering. They're punching, one hand is covering. They're palm striking, they're tiger's clawing, one hand is checking or guarding, and it's helping them to establish a foundation and a body memory of making sure that their hands are doing something at all times. Okay, and that's just, a very, very simple example of what I, offer into my curriculum for my personal Kenpo students. As I said, the focus of my path and my training now is actually the Filipino martial arts. That's what I do most of the time. And anything that I learn in the Filipino martial arts, I find a way to incorporate it into the Kenpo. So that is the Valido method of Kenpo. That is how I've chosen to teach my students. Another real quick thing that I teach when I have my students get into their stance is actually something that you've seen before. A lot of people do it. It was started a long time ago by such luminaries in the martial arts such as Steve Sanders, now Steve Muhammad, and the late great Bruce Lee, where I do not incorporate, if I'm facing this way, if this is 12 o'clock and you're my 9 o'clock, okay, I do not incorporate a flat-footed neutral bow any longer. Actually, I have now transitioned to more of a progressive fighting neutral bow. I actually use this as well in teaching our niece. The front leg has about 10% more weight shifted on it, and the back leg is up, ready to move forward. It's more of a progressive stance. You can do the exact same thing when you're punching, okay, that you would do in a regular neutral bow, but now I'm not flat-footed. So just yet another example of how my method of Kenpo is taught. And again, for all the haters out there, for all the keyboard warriors out there, I'm not saying that my method is better than anyone else's at all. I'm not saying that I have the market on teaching the art. Not saying that at all. I'm just saying that I have 25 years of personal experience in a few different types of martial arts. I've been able to have the very, very great fortune of learning from some of the best people on the planet in not only the Filipino martial arts, but in the Kenpo arts as well. And I've just kind of started to walk my own path. I'm not a young white belt, wet behind the ears. I've got some time under my belt and a lot of experience, and this is just the path I've decided to go. So that is one reason why you have not seen me do a lot of videos lately on Kenpo. The majority of the videos that I put out now are in the Filipino martial arts. Okay, so that being said, I want to thank you for watching. And I know I don't have a ton of followers out there, but for the ones that I do have that have followed my channel for a very long time, I thank you for that. For those of you that are new subscribers to my channel that have seen my videos, I appreciate you watching them. If I do decide to do more videos on Kenpo, it'll be on the Valido method of Kenpo and how I teach it and how I pass that along to students. Okay, with my flavor, with my different types of mindsets and viewpoints and aspects that I have to offer to the art. Okay, so thank you very much, and salute.